Hello, welcome to Ray Recommends. My name is Raymond Antrobus. I've been in Jamaica for the Calabash Literature Festival. Incredible experience. I'll talk a bit about that in another episode. Since I've been back in England, I've mainly been teaching around the country with the National Literacy Trust and other organisations. And I've just started a residency at my old school, which is a deaf school in North London. I just spent the day reading two very interesting and fulfilling collections. One is Wife by Tiffany Yannick, and the other is Tongueit by Harry Giles. Tongueit is a play on words. It's in English it would be translated as tongued, but in Scots it's Tongueit. I'm particularly chuffed that these two collections have been shortlisted for a Forward Prize. There's a lot to unpack in both of them in how they are pushing forward the writing and the ideas of the English canon. Tongueit I found difficult at first because so much of it is written in Scots. But I thought about a story that Keith Jarrett told me. That's Keith Jarrett. I was also in Calabash with him. That he'd seen an English professor of literature talking about why Derek Walcott is his favourite poet and why Derek Walcott is so accomplished as a poet and a playwright and a writer in the English language. But this professor's main critique of Walcott was that he sometimes uses patois. And now to say something like that out loud is to admit that your comfortable understanding of colonialism is more about preserving it than interrogating it. And Harry Giles in his poems uses Scots, his native tongue, to lick shots at people like that professor and anyone who would dismiss any piece of writing because it's not in the Queen's English, a language which a lot of blood has come out of and seeped into languages like patois, like Scots. Now, recent colonial history is also patriarchal. The opening poem of Wife by Tiffany is a poem called Dangerous Things. And it goes, "This is the island. It is small and vulnerable. It is a woman calling. You love her until you are part of her, and then, just like that, you make her less than she was before. The space that you take up is a space where she cannot exist. It is something in her history that does this. Don't mind her name. The island is a woman, therefore dangerous things live below. Beautiful things also, which can be the most dangerous. True, we will never be beyond our histories, and so I am the island, and so this is a warning." Which is a warning in what is to come in the rest of this collection and what is to come in the future when patriarchy is challenged and dismantled. Tiffany's poetry is marrying us to the idea that if the women of history speak to us, it will readjust our understanding of a history which is mainly told to us by men, where the expectation of women as wives are man-made. And Carol Ann Duffy has a similar setup in her collection, The World's Wife. And I've just realised Carol Ann Duffy, probably one of the most prestigious poets in the UK. She is the Poet Laureate of the UK, and like Harry Giles, she's actually Scottish. And she's also on our English national curriculum. Now, Harry, in his collection, has a poem called Curriculum, where he, like Tiffany, anticipates the day we readjust our relationships with the status quo. And in that poem, Curriculum, halfway through, he says, "Fuck the whole syllabus. fuck sideways, stick a pin in the course catalogue, then do it again, but do it harder, do it slower, do it till what you want burns blue, bright, black, and hold till every reference is earth. Something to take away from the fact that these two books are shortlisted for a forward prize is that to be considered for the prize, you need to know how the way things are currently set up in our society excludes and harms different marginalised people. And you need to find forward-thinking ways to ridicule and examine our old ways of thinking. So even the fact that Harry Giles is a poet of the stage and he's taken his theatrics onto the page and used that to be shortlisted for a poetry prize, which is a kind of disruption to who you would normally see shortlisted for these kinds of, I guess, literature-based poetry, English poetry prizes. So there's so much to say about these two stunning pieces of work. Do check them out, do read them, do let me know what you think. Ray recommends.